this is Nemesis Stars, and so apparently I want to do a review on RE4 Remake so far. So the first things I'm gonna get into are the most likely. So most likely I'm gonna explain the whole game first, and then give out the positives and the negatives of the game. Okay, so the first thing is, most of the game is sort of pretty much the same, mostly, for the most part. So you've pretty much got, a change with the cycle, when you arrive, in the village. So instead of, daytime, it's actually nighttime, to make it a bit more scarier than just daytime alone. So it kind of works during the night and whatever. That's actually a change or whatever, and such, and it's just mainly just getting through the game with without the QTEs, even though you get button prompts, which is just normal really. So mostly you just use it for dodging and whatever, and that's pretty much it really. You don't really use it much for anything else. Yeah, so most of the game is sort of the same. Like the fights with the lake monster, that's sort of pretty much the same. The Gigante, pretty much the same. You pretty much fight it with the wolf, or without, depending, and such. I mean, yeah, you pretty much got similar fights going on there. So apparently, most likely, the change is Lewis and Krauser, because their arc has changed a bit. Now, Lewis is a bit more likable in the remake than he is in the original. In the original, he just dies by Sadler in the back, but in the remake, he gets killed by Krauser, unfortunately, which is a different kind of death, but it's him building up that arc. So instead of Leon going alone like he did in the original, he goes with Lewis in a minecart, which is pretty cool. I like the development of Lewis as a character. And there's a lot that I'd probably explain. Yeah, so before I basically explain more of that, I'm going to apparently explain the negatives of the remake. So the negatives I basically don't like about the remake is Ashley. She is still terrible. Her AI is not that good. Because when you intend to move her away, she doesn't. She crouches. She cowers on the floor or whatever. And just stays there to get grabbed. Yeah. Her AI is rubbish. And then you basically, when you tell it to follow anyone, when you still say to she clearly just doesn't know where to run to. So that makes her rubbish as an AI, really rubbish. Also, there's times where she would get in the way and you would just shoot her. Yeah, I've shot her a couple of times already, and I'm sick of it. She's always in the way. You can't do anything with her, really. I mean, most likely the AI alone is just not done that well, in the remake. Because I know there's instances where, Lewis gets in the way, but, at least he fights back, though, which is a bit understandable, though, with him. So yeah, most likely the AI is not that good. Not as good at all, unfortunately. It sucks. Also, Ashley doesn't fight back, which is an improvement I wanted for Ashley, to like her more than her just doing similar to what she did in the original, where she would apparently cower and whatever. except in the original, she screamed and whatever, like screamed Leon, help, which wasn't in the remake. She didn't do that. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of improvement with her not screaming her head off, which nobody liked and whatever. But I still dislike Ashley because she doesn't have it to fight back. So so most part you apparently have her I think the section that I liked with Ashley was when she was going through the night section. You know, well, when she was running past these knights, whatever. I like that. Basically, like that part for the most part. But you know, again, when you have her as a partner, it's terrible. Unfortunately. So yeah, it's not as good or whatever. So so apparently I'm gonna explain both parts instead of just one, I think. Instead of just the negatives. Okay, so I actually I mean the lake fight wasn't really that bad. It was still pretty much the same, but it was actually kind of fun. Now, when it came to the night part, though, Ashley actually was pretty good because, you know, it kind of brought back that creepy feeling of having no control to fight back against them, and you have to sneak through them and stuff like that, and whatever, and using the lantern to, like, you know, stuff like that, to freeze them. To run around and whatever. That part I actually found good. Because that means Ashley's actually using the lantern to actually fight back against them. Now that part I liked because she's actually fighting back, but for the most part she doesn't. In the game. Which I actually wanted Ashley to fight back in the remake. I mean, again, it would have actually had me like her more. So, mostly in the remake, I seem to like Lewis more than Ashley because, again, he fights back and he's actually more important as a character now, since he's a bit better developed. And as for Krauser, he's actually improved with the knife fight. The knife fight's actually good instead of just QTE. Now, I actually like that fight because you're using a knife and you're fighting back with a knife and whatever, and you're actually using the knife thing to, like, dodge and whatever a couple of times whenever he strikes, which, again, is a good thing in the remake. I like that part. Now, the minecart is another good part of the game. I actually like that because you intend to shoot, especially when the chainsaw guy hops into one of them, which I found funny. Also, the dialogue between him and Lewis was also funny. The way they did interact. Each time they went down like a minecart or whatever down the tracks. That was actually good dialogue because they were together on that one. So I kind of find it funnier than the original, even though I actually did watch the original gameplay on the original game, really. So there's that. Another thing though, that don't think it actually did make the cut, I don't think, or it kind of, I don't know, I can't remember. There's not enough dialogue with Ada and Krauser, unfortunately. Like, they just don't talk that much. And when it comes to, interaction between Wesker and Ada, you don't see Wesker's face straight away, like you would until the very end of the game, then you would see Wesker's face, which looks a bit weird. It looks a bit weird for a Wesker, to be honest. His face, kind of like his hair just looks white and whatever. He looks a bit like he's just not blonde. He just looks like an old Wesker. Like a guy, like a Wesker that's just became old. With white hair. He's supposed to look like blonde. Like an actual blonde sort of hair. Yeah, so for Ada, I don't know, I'm just not keen on her outfit. I guess I'm just very weird when it comes to, like, being very picky. So the outfit of Ada is, I don't know, I prefer the dress. I like the dress with Ada because it was a bit more suitable for Ada, as being like a spy, which worked a bit better. Um, but unfortunately, you can't really change the outfit, so that sucks. Um, so, another thing I'd have to mention is the infinite rocket launcher. So roughly, if you're playing on a higher difficulty, it's higher than 2 million, unfortunately. So it is expensive, but if you're on a lower difficulty, like say like assisted difficulty, it's 2 million for the infinite rocket launcher. It is a lot, a lot just to get it. It might take a couple of like playthroughs or so just to get it, which seems like a rip-off, really. If only if it was easier than that, but it's not. Just to get it because this is why I prefer the weapon pack. Because with the weapon pack, like the RE2 remake, for example, it was actually free for me, first time round. And I was able to use it, straight away. But the RE4 remake, it doesn't give that instant access to the rocket launcher. You have to work through it to get it, which is a pain, unfortunately. I kind of just don't like it when you have to, like, spend ages trying to get infinite or whatever. Now, there's another one that's similar, and it's to do with the infinite guns. Now, the infinite guns is a pain, unfortunately, because with the infinite guns, in order to get them, you have to beat the game on hardcore with a certain rank to get it, which is annoying, really. Because the one thing I think of, though, is they should have done what they did with 5 Melee. Where, like, once you've completed it, fully upgraded a gun, like, you would have the, option for it to have unlimited ammo. Limited amounts of, like, ammo shot at enemies. So at least then you wouldn't run out. So in order for that, once you fully upgraded it, you go to the section in the shop and whatever, and you purchase it, and you get an infinite ammo out of it. So that would have been better than just doing hardcore, because I kind of feel like I just don't want to do hardcore without an infinite rocket launcher, because again, I can't do it because it'd be too hard for me. Plus, with the whole health issue as well, assisted difficulty is hard enough. But I actually manage. But I do waste a lot of ammo. That's the problem right there. That's why with a weapon pack, it would make things easier, and whatever, and be able to, like, save a lot of ammo. When basically be using ammo or whatever, I'd be more of just mainly using a certain gun or whatever, with infinite ammo in it, like say the infinite rocket launcher. If it was like in a free pack or whatever, it'd be easier, and stuff, or like an infinite gun or something like that, straight off the bag, really. That would have been better, and it would have been easier to speedrun just to get the infinite for the normal guns that you would get through the game or whatever. Stuff like that. So another thing is the merchant. The merchant's voice is still weird, considering. But for the most part, he's still funny. Still says funny things, which is extra dialogue from what he originally says in the original. So it's kind of like more. He doesn't say stranger a lot, but he does say it sometimes. so he kind of still says it. But there's probably some dialogue that he doesn't really say in the remake that he probably does in the original. But I guess that's what it is. Yes, I mean, he does apparently say, not enough cash, stranger. You know what I mean? Because when you try to purchase something, he still says it, unfortunately, which is pretty funny. I also like the extra dialogue, between Leon and Ashley when they're, in certain areas and whatever, like, say, Ashley, responds to Leon picking up her phone, or when Leon takes her to the cell where I call him Wolverine was, that he died in, where she actually interacts about him, about keeping him as a pet, which is a funny dialogue right there, because that basically dialogue was new, right there, right off the bat. So that dialogue I actually liked, unfortunately. Yeah, so there's, I don't think there's much interaction between Ada and Leon, though, considering, there's only around, I can't remember how many, interactions they do, but still, yeah, so the statue is a bit changed, and whatever, it's not the sort that runs after you this time, so instead with the statue, it just stands there, and moves its head. That's pretty much all it does, statue. So you can shoot it in the back, the back of the head, really, so in order to apparently get it to trigger that way, you have to, like, go up, a ladder or whatever, and basically once it's dealing upstairs, then you come back down, go behind the head, and shoot it in where the barrel is. So that's most likely it'll blow up the head, and you won't need to rely on the statue anymore. That's pretty much an easy fight right there. With the statue, you don't really have to do much. Yeah. So there is probably a lot of changes there and there. So, the worst enemies you had to deal with, one of the worst ones I had to deal with was the bug things. Well, I call them mosquitoes because they kind of resemble a mosquito a little bit. So those were annoying. Really, really annoying because they're fast or whatever. It can get you straight in the back. So the second most annoying monster has to be the Regeners. Because they take a lot of ammo. And, there's a lot of them when you deal with them, because when you think about it, you fight your first one, which would basically roam around the halls and whatever of this facility thing. Then you've got around 4 more, like they're in like tubes and whatever, so there's them. So they're a pain, really. They're actually a huge pain because I actually, one of them had like a wrench or whatever, and I wasn't sure which one to be aiming for, and it actually shot all of them by a grenade, I think it was, and they all came out, and I was like, oh no. I wasted a ton of ammo trying to kill every single one of them until I was left with just 2. So when I got out the last 2, I got lucky with one of them having the wrench inside them. And I was like, you know what? Screw this shit. I'm out. So as soon as I took the wrench, enemies came in. I was like, right, I'm out. Yeah, so I just ran because I just couldn't stand it. And then I get to this other area, and then and it would seem like the Regina sort of followed me or whatever, because he got so close to Ashley. Like really close. And as I remember, I think she died. Yeah, I think she literally died. And I was like, I hate these things. There's, because from what I also know, there's another one on the other side of the bridge part. It's on the other side. And you can use Ashley to like drop it or whatever. And such. So there's that. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I can like state as of right now. So might as well call it part one. Part one of the review. So I think that'll be part one for now. I probably might come up with part two sooner or later down the line. So stay tuned for like the next video and whatever. So I will be streaming probably later, I think, and such. So yeah, peace out.